In this product review at Fishing with Tyler, we're going to look at the brand new Loomis Conquest rod. Two engineering giants, Loomis and Shimano, have finally come together to produce what could be the best rod on the planet. Here's my take. A world of innovation with Loomis's original mag bass, fast action tapers, and featuring Shimano's Spiral X technology. The new Conquest rod, a Loomis and Shimano joint development, takes bass fishing to the next level. With Spiral X technology preventing blank twist to increase casting distance, enhancing accuracy, rod strength is also increased for that needed leverage to provide better hook sets and fish fighting power. All Conquest rods, 8 casting and 4 spinning in total, have high-performance Torzite guides from Fuji, along with custom reel seats and blank-through handles for added sensitivity. Conquest, the most technologically advanced bass rods on the water. The rod breaks down like this. The model that I'm testing is an 843c MBR. It's a 7-foot fast action, medium heavy power rod and provides a 10¼ inch rear grip, 1.22 inch foregrip. Overall, with the reel seat included, it measures in at a total of 15.5 inches. The rod is rated for 10 to 17 pound line and 1/4 to 3/4 ounce lure weight. Shimano Spiral X technology allows the rod to stay in more of a straight line while you're casting and reeling in a fish, which will result in farther casts and less friction on the line when you're actually fighting the fish. The inability for the blank to flex along its rotational axis is known as torsional rigidity. The Spiral X wrap increases that factor and keeps your guides all aligned properly no matter what the scenario. I've had this rod for about a week now and was lucky enough to get it out on the water and put it through its paces. Here's a look at that. All right guys, here it is. Well, much anticipated first cast with the Shimano and Loomis Conquest rod. This is an 843c, which is a 7-foot fast medium heavy, and this thing feels astronomical in my hands. This thing is awesome, super light. So again, put this thing through its paces a little bit here. It's December 3rd. Throw a jerk bait on it. Again, the very first cast with the Conquest. Have it paired up today with a Shimano Chronarch CI4 Plus. Initially, I was a little skeptical about the full cork grip. Cork is extremely nice. I'm usually a split grip fisherman. Matter of fact, all of my rods are split grip except for one, and that's a crankbait rod I have. Loomis E6X. I like it a lot too, but the cork on this thing, super nice. Super smooth. Problem I have with full cork handles is that I'm kind of OCD. You put these things in a rod locker and have the rubber band over top of the handle. They make indentions. I don't know if you can see that. That right here, you can kind of see it there. Not going to affect the usability of the rod, but again, this is an 843c. Normally wouldn't throw a jerk bait on a 3-power rod. However, this thing seems like it has a little bit more backbone than a normal 3-power. Compare it to my 853 NRX that I have. It's a whole different ball game here. Fast taper, but you still have that. Feels like it's got a lot of backbone. The fast tip, again, may not be the best suited for this jerk bait, but we are in the transition into the winter time period here, Yatesville Lake. You can see we're down into winter pool already, about 10 foot lower than it normally is. But this rod is sweet. That's all I can say about it. Again, I was lucky enough to get my hands on this from Drew Sadler from Shimano. You know, he's basically told me you gotta come try these things out. They are the real deal. These rods are going to be all MBR rods. They're not going to make any that are split grip, and they're all going to be, you know, even lengths basically. You know, you can get there's several options, but there's not quite as many options as there would be an NRX or a GLX or something like that. They're, you know, making these more of a wide range of rods as opposed to having, you know, 20 different rods to choose from at this point. I'm not sure about the MSRP on these things. I think the MSRP, to be honest with you, is like $649, I think. But it's not every day you see two engineering giants like Shimano and G Loomis come together. Obviously, G Loomis is owned by Shimano, but they've had their, you know, both had their different rods. Obviously, G Loomis name speaks for itself. But here's a Shimano Zodius. You can see the, you may not be able to see that. I can't tell. It's kind of sunny here, but you can see the Spiral X weave there on this Zodius. And they've done that with this new rod. It actually has a G Loomis blank, but it has the Spiral X wrap as well, which what that does is it gives your rod a lot more torsional rigidity, it's called. So instead of having your rod flex like you know, around itself when you're casting, it keeps it more in a straight line, keeps your guides all together, all in a straight line, so you can cast that much further. Paired it up with this Shimano Chronarch CI4 Plus 1. It's the lightest reel that I own at this point. And you're not just going to throw a random rod or a random reel on this rod here. You know, it doesn't lend itself well to think about that. You know, a $650 rod, you're not going to, you know, throw a cheap reel on this thing, I wouldn't imagine. But with this combo right here, feels really, really nice in my hand. Again, I was kind of skeptical about having the full cork handle. However, this thing feels really, really nice. You can't, you know, it feels no different than a split grip to me. There's not that extra weight that you normally have for the full cork grip. You know, you're looking at this grip. It's, you know, 10 inches long probably, 11 inches maybe. I haven't looked at the specs, but gives you a you know, nice handhold there. And again, the Spiral X pattern, the Spiral X wrap, what happened is I think it's wrapped one way, and then you know, the blank is built and then it's wrapped the opposite way on the outside of the blank. So you get that that really nice rigidity of the rod blank. This 843c feels like a phenomenal rod. Actually, throwing this jerkbait is doing really well. You know, I'm about 10 casts into the being able to use this rod, and it's definitely a good one. I can see myself owning a few of them, that's for sure. The question always arises, you know, from people that watch my videos on YouTube or on Facebook or whatever. Do the G Loomis Conquest, you know, do they warrant the really high price tag on them? In my opinion, yes. If you're fishing, and you know, fishing at a high level like I consider myself to be fishing at, you only want the best stuff, you know, in your hands. These things are, you know, second to none. One of the greatest, actually, probably in my opinion, the greatest rods ever built. Just for the simple fact is you have G Loomis and Shimano engineers putting their heads together on this one rod. And you know, guys, technology anymore is not cheap. We all know that. You know, for example, cell phones $1,000 anymore, which is crazy. But you know, I always have people say, you know, I would fish G Loomis. I love their stuff, awesome rods, but I just don't know if they warrant the price. In my opinion, get a hold of one of these things. Head up to the tackle box in South Point. They got 4 or 5 of them in stock right now, I know. Greg and those guys up there will get you hooked up with one. Just go fill one, grab one, pick it up. You know, get a hold of me in the next few weeks here. I'll have this thing for a couple weeks. I can let you see it. You feel it, hold it, and you will become a believer as well. This thing is Extremely, extremely nice. The guides are super well laid out. And not to mention, this thing just looks awesome. That Spiral X wrap got the G Loomis and Shimano logos on there, which is amazing. That's cool, man. Got two of the biggest names in the industry on one fishing rod. So hopefully they continue this trend and it makes some other rods like this. But right now, the way it's looking, this thing right here is going to be around. It's going to stick around a while. Again, nice backbone. Again, I can't speak for them all, obviously, because I don't have them all, but this 843, again, it feels a little stiffer than my 3-power NRX, which is good. I wish my 3-power NRX felt like this rod. I bought the 3-power rod as a worm and jig rod, and it's a little underpowered for that. So I ended up making it a spinnerbait rod. And then I'm going to actually have a couple rods on order. One of them is a 894 NRX. So I can't wait to get my hands on that. I'm gonna make that obviously my flip and pitch rod. Basically, you know, it's gonna have some meat to it. It's a 4-power, and again, right at 8 foot. So I ought to be able to pitch jigs and pretty much anywhere I want with that thing. But this Conquest, from, again, my initial experience right now, this is the first time I've ever had it in my hands, first time fishing. This thing, super nice. Overall, I have to say that this rod is definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with. With its lightweight design, amazing cork handles, the sensitivity and performance of a G Loomis blank we've all come to love, paired with a Shimano Spiral X wrap and Torzite guides, all wrapped up into one package, this rod will definitely have a spot in my boat for the next season. If you're interested in purchasing one, stop by the Tackle Box at 411 Solid Road in South Point, Ohio. They have everything you need to get stocked up for your next hunting or fishing adventure. Until next time, guys, we'll see you on the water. Thank you guys very much for tuning in.